So what's up? Hope everyone is doing well and having a beautiful Saturday. It's 4th of July weekend and we're gonna have fireworks and we're gonna celebrate our independence. We're gonna celebrate that we're not in quarantine anymore and that we have drones that are cool to fly and life is good, right? So yesterday, as some people may know, I uploaded a couple little videos. I had a first job with my Inspire 2 and pretty stoked on that. But this one was for essentially a premium drone photo package only. So no video, which was nice. It was in the suburbs. It wasn't too tough of a job. But again, just the workflow with a drone like this Inspire 2 is a lot different of a workflow from a Mavic 2 series drone or a Mini or an Autel even. It's just a lot more drone and a lot more things that you got to be careful of. And even yesterday, I learned something that I didn't know, and it kind of gave me a sweaty palm moment where I was a little bit panicky because I couldn't actually attach the gimbal. This comes off this drone, obviously. Well, it does come off the drone. For those who aren't familiar, there's a little button you depress, you twist, and it pops off, and you can store it nicely in this case below. But I had it off in this case, and I never was informed that these little pins, there's a little contact up in there, could actually twist on you. Somehow it twisted, I'm not sure how, maybe when I was detaching something or putting on the little lens cap, the gimbal cover that goes onto this piece. I didn't even know that was possible, and I couldn't get in touch with anyone. I bought this from a place in Arizona, DJI Arizona. Nobody was answering their phones. I tried some other friends with Inspire 2s. Nobody was picking up. And fortunately, the client who was from Spain, his brother who actually was living in Spain has an Inspire 2, and he got him on FaceTime, which was kind of embarrassing, small kind as we'd say, but at the same time, who cares? He was able to help out, put your ego aside and your pride aside and just let him, you know. I told him it's a newer drone for me. I really didn't know what was going on, and he walked me through it. And you basically depress this little tab. There's a little button on the side, and then you can actually turn the element with these two little pins. I'll show you a little picture of that. But I didn't know that. And that was a big hiccup for me because I, again, had a really simple task, which was getting the drone in the air and putting on the gimbal and the camera, and that was causing me an issue. So that was a real life kind of pressure on, not thankfully a huge job like a big production or film set, which can be that much more intense because you have a whole production crew and there's a lot more money at stake. It was nice to have this drone on a smaller type gig, to have that kind of hiccup happen to me, and it wasn't too big of a deal. And now I know one little thing about this drone that I didn't before, and those are those little bits of information that make you more valuable as a photographer, as a videographer, as a drone pilot. So anytime you get a chance to fly, fly. And if you get a job opportunity, even if it's a couple $100s or something, do it if you're not familiar with your equipment and just get that real life experience, because there's no money, no book, nothing that can actually prepare you for being on the job and having that kind of situation pop up and you gotta deal with it. Before I was actually into drones as a photographer, I was a digital tech, which means when film was kind of coming to an end, not really coming to an end, but the digital era was kind of coming about, there was a lot of opportunity for people that were film shooters that had no idea about digital, and I was kind of on the bleeding edge of the digital stuff. So a lot of people would hire me out on their big photo shoots to actually drive their technology, like the big medium format cameras, and make sure all the software was up and running and the digital backs were capturing the right way and writing the files and all that kind of organizational stuff. So being a troubleshooter essentially has a big value to it, and that's a big part of being a working photographer, a working drone pilot, a working cinematographer, videographer, whatever you want to say. So that little job experience paid me not a ton of money, but enough to buy me, you know, a bunch of batteries or recoup another 1,000 towards this drone. But what's invaluable is the fact that I learned something that I didn't know, and now that's one less hiccup I have to worry about with this drone. So with that being said, this is a cool drone, really badass. As you see on this drone right now, I think I have, what is on this lens? This is a 25mm Olympus Micro Four Thirds lens. It has a balancing ring on it. It's about a 50mm equivalent right now. I got a little Laowa 7.5, or where is that? It's right here, this guy. This is a super wide, basically like a 15 mil equivalent, but a really wide lens, really, really cool, super tack sharp. I got this 15 mil that came with the X5S, which not a huge fan so far. It seems all right, but not rock star. And let me put this cap on. And I have this other Olympus 45, which is like a 90 mil, and super cool, really tack sharp, adds a really cool compression to all your shots, and just very cool to have a bunch of different lens options when you're going to fly your drone. So it's another thing you got to think about, like the Mavic 2 Zoom or an Air 2S or whatever it may be. You grab the drone and you fly, and it's super easy. So as you see, I got two cases. I got this little case, which is very cool for the Mavic 2 Zoom, a really inexpensive case on Amazon, probably $50 and under. And I have this GPC travel mode case, which is pretty darn big, cost me $500 roughly, and is just obviously huge. So I had the landing mode version of this, which is that much larger, probably like up here, a little wider, and really, really tough to lug around. Didn't like it at all. And from what I was hearing, it's not really a good idea to travel with this in landing mode like it is now. It's not good to travel with the gimbal attached, like your X5S or your X7. It's good to take the lenses off. So you want to really break this thing down anyway. So I was glad I was able to return the landing mode case and exchange it for the travel mode case, because it's just that much more manageable, and I can manhandle this thing without really that big of an issue. So you can see the two different case options, $500, $50. Everything for this drone is a lot more money. But at the same time, it's super cool to fly. You get different lens options. You get really beautiful footage. You get, again, the option to shoot ProRes or Cinema DNG. I ordered this 960 gigabyte SSD drive from B&H. It was roughly 12 something on sale there for like, I got it, so it's like $13.50 with tax and everything. And I think they sell for like $1,600 now. So it's a huge amount just to actually get basically a memory card, which is in the form of an SSD, to capture and get the most out of this drone footage-wise, and 10-bit, 12-bit, 14-bit kind of thing. So that's on its way. So I haven't even really unleashed this thing. It's like having a Bugatti or something and not having the key to engage all cylinders and all horsepower. So this drone really, I'm just kind of getting used to. And I had an issue for some reason on this job where it corrupted some of the files. So DJI Arizona is kind enough. They're going to swap out the X5S. They're going to swap out the drone and just give me that peace of mind, because I spent $7,000 roughly with them. And it's just a huge investment, and I don't want to mess around. It's basically brand new, and I've been having some issues right off the gate with some gimbal issues, and again, the corrupt files and just some things like that that I'm not obviously happy with, especially after spending this kind of money. It wasn't the experience that I wanted to get into, but they're going to replace it, swap it out, swap out the refresh, and exchange it to the new drone and the new gimbal. But just so you guys are aware, this drone is very capable, but it does come at a cost, and there's a lot more involved learning curve-wise than there is a drone like this. So it's cool to have that challenge and that experience, but these are far easier, and I can see why people opt to just not deal with this. But as a photographer, having different lens options is super cool, and again, there's value to it. You can hire yourself out as an Inspire 2 operator and offer a premium drone package and service that you can't with this. And just the psychological fact of having something like this and carrying out a big case, the clients see you're not messing around. And I know that doesn't mean everything, and it shouldn't really matter, but again, visually it does. Even the client yesterday, whose brother had an Inspire 2 and was a drone pilot in Spain, basically was taking pictures of this thing and impressed and basically complimenting on how cool it is to see fly, and it looks like an alien and a spaceship. So regardless, people get a kick out of this drone visually, and apparently there's a little value to it. And as far as the other drones, just so you guys are aware, I returned my Air 2S to DJI. Don't really miss that drone at all, honestly. It was a cool drone, but again, a 1-inch sensor. I got an Autel Evo 2 Pro 6K, which also has a 1-inch sensor. And it's just something that I didn't feel I needed, and I was gonna go and run and grab in my drone cases. So I put that money back in my account and put it back towards this guy. So this is my investment drone right now. And as I invest into it, I make money with it, and it kind of will balance itself out and then hopefully turn into a little flying cash register, which it really does for a lot of people. So there's a lot of people in some of these commercial drone forums. They basically say they make their money with this drone and buy another drone, and it just keeps on escalating. And there's a lot of potential if you are good with this. Again, get out there and fly, get some real world experience if you haven't. So if you guys haven't worked a job, get a real job with the drone. If you have your 107, of course. If you don't have your 107, you can't actually be hired out to work. So there's that. And I've talked about Pilot Institute. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you do want to try to make some money with your drones, go take your 107 course with Pilot Institute, get that out of the way. You'll have it done within 2-3 weeks max. And for a couple $100, you have the ability to make that back. And I could make $200 with any of these drones basically in an hour. So it should be a little incentive to get your 107. And on another note, if you guys are recreational, you do know, as we've mentioned and other people have mentioned, you need to get that trust exam out of the way. Super simple. You can't fail it. Takes 15-20 minutes tops. Get your trust exam, print up the certificate, email yourself a copy and have that just in case. Or if you're working on your 107, take that and make sure you have that again, just so you have something and you're legal. But really, that's about it. I think I just wanted to talk a little bit about a real life job experience with the Inspire 2. And even though I feel I'm a pretty confident drone pilot, I ran into a situation that basically gave me sweaty palms, got me kind of nervous, and I kind of freaked a little bit, I won't lie. So, I mean, I just didn't know what was going on. It's hot out. You got the pressure of clients. You got sun and light changing. You know you need to get your shots and move on to another location. And I'm fumbling around with the camera and the drone and not being able to simply attach something. And it seems super overly simplistic, but when it's a brand new drone like it is for me, and I've never had to change lenses on any of my drones in the past 4 years, guess what? Kind of sucked that it wasn't so simple. Once someone told me, obviously super simplistic and it will never happen again. But these real life experiences are what will make you a better drone pilot, a more experienced drone pilot. And when you have that confidence and ability, guess what? You're gonna go ahead and push yourself out there that much more, knowing you can handle basically anything that's thrown at you. So being good at flying the drone, being good at knowing all the troubleshooting parts of the drone. Ideally, I had a backup Inspire 2 if I had a spare $8,000, but I don't. And that's kind of real life world knowledge with working kind of professional photography and drone stuff. So I carried this thing with me yesterday because I knew focal lengths were going to be a part of the drone job. And I figured the zoom will at least give me the option to obviously zoom. So I brought this as a backup, and I'm glad I did because I did fly it in a couple of instances, and it was nice to use something super small and easy that I didn't have to worry about, didn't have a big footprint, and I was still able to get nice imagery for the client. So that's it, guys. I mean, I hope it helps a little bit. I just want to try to inspire, hopefully, with the Inspire, and Inspire as a photographer for a long time, 22 years, a more recent drone pilot and videographer, but just let you guys know that it's possible to make money and have fun at the same time. So if it did help, hit the thumbs up button. You know, it helps me out trying to break my 2,000 mark and keep this channel growing. What else? Subscribe, of course, hit the notification bell, and have a beautiful, happy 4th. Let me know if you're gonna actually shoot fireworks with your drones. If you have any questions, if you wanna see any future videos, and for now, peace, and that's it. Bye, guys.